Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Entering the Unknown. As you probably just heard me saying, because Dave pushed the live button without telling us, don't put me on your TV tonight, C&D, because I look shocking. So thanks for that, Dave.
It's a pleasure.
So, as you've all probably realised, we are joined tonight by the two beautiful ladies that make up C&D. Good evening, ladies.
Hello, how do you do? Can you hear? You can't hear. All right, Dee can't hear, so I'm going to be relaying what you say.
You can't help a bit of technical issues, can you?
No.
Oh,
So, ladies, how are you? What have you been up to?
we're good. We've not really been up to too much. I've just gotten the full bill of health from my lung clot, and when I whipped over to Spain, which was naughty, but I'll tell you one thing: they were very, very, very thorough. The airline and everything was absolutely. They were spraying it in between passengers. They were sitting one row behind another row, and it was lovely. It really was. And in Spain, when we were there, this was before the COVID came back the second time. Face masks everywhere, apart from when you eat, when you swim, and when you're in your own house. Pardon?
That was just a bit of feedback, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah, no, we went over to see our son. Because originally I was going to help with the village, but obviously the blood clot on the lung, I couldn't do that. And then when I got the bill of health, I thought, well, that's now or never, because I haven't seen him since last December. It was a case of hubby booked a couple of flights and we went off and stayed 5 days, no longer.
You have got a beautiful tan.
I've got a lovely tan. I say you can only see a little bit of it, right? But it's really dark on the back. It's really dark. Oh, yeah. So, but I do tan easy anyway.
So you found flying and going off on holiday okay? Was you scared by it at all? Because this whole COVID situation has been a complete nightmare for everybody, hasn't it? So, and then throw into that, as you say, you've been really poorly. You've been in hospital with your blood clot. So
no, I wasn't in hospital.
Was you not in hospital? Oh, sorry, I thought you was.
No. I went to the hospital, they did the scan and the blood work and stuff like that. They diagnosed it. It was so tiny. It was like the tiniest little clot. They gave me blood thinners. They gave me anticoagulants and they sent me away and I had to go back every day for a set amount of time and then they scanned me again. And then it was a case of, everything was breaking up nicely. And then the next time I went back for a scan, which was 2 weeks after that, got the all clear. So I was quite lucky, really. But I didn't actually stay in hospital.
Thankfully.
So I don't think I'd have wanted to at that point.
No, because that was that April time, May time. Wasn't that in the height of the pandemic?
No. April, May time was the first time we were supposed to go out to Spain. And we had to cancel that. Actually, EasyJet cancelled that. Simply because of COVID. This was round about when we were supposed to do the village. The 4th of August time. That was just before that I flew out to Spain because I'd just got the all clear. Huh? Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, at least you've managed to see your son.
With the actual COVID protocol in the actual airport, you don't come in contact with another person. You're not up close. There's no brushing shoulders. You have to wear a mask. Everything, they spray your luggage as well.
Do they?
The luggage is sprayed. Yeah. If it goes in the hold, it gets sprayed. If you hand luggage, it doesn't. because the plane sprayed. So, and it's done between every single flight. So it's pretty good.
That's fabulous, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So did you feel safe traveling?
Very...
I know it's not really paranormal, but I'm really interested because I would love to go on holiday.
I felt very safe traveling. EasyJet were absolutely brilliant. Like I said, we only went for 5 days. The first day you get there, you're kind of like, first thing hubby did was rush around and clean the accommodation we were staying in because we didn't stay with our son. Once he'd done that, that was a case of, you know, he could relax because everything was clean and I was about happy and everything. But the heat, had done my chest so much good. It really did. It was just like, because before I was like, it's hard to explain. How would you explain? That was like a noise out of my chest. You know, I can't explain it. It's like a rattle kind of thing. But once I was over there, I just cleared. It was just like the humidity in the air was actually brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It's really good to see you looking so healthy and so well, considering what you've been through.
100% now.
Good. It's what we need. So how did you girls get into the paranormal field? What is it about the paranormal that pulled you guys into it?
Okay, you want to know me or Dee first?
Shall we start with Dee?
Okay.
No, let's start with you, C, because this is probably going to be a knock-on effect. If it's anything like me and my son, it's going to be a knock-on effect. So we'll start with you.
When I was 8, I had something happen to me. I don't want to go into details, but it wasn't anything that a child should have happen beside her. I basically went on to know things before they happened. I felt things, didn't know what they were, but something would happen. Got to the grand old age of 20-something. Didn't think nothing. Had this happen all through my life. Then I decided to go and sit in church, which I sat into circle at Hawley, and started to develop more. Then got my mediumship. That's kind of, there's 1,000 stories I could tell you, but we have all had our own little experiences and things. But yeah.
So is it something that you've always discussed openly within the family and with your friends and things, or was it something that at first you was wary of?
No, my mum used to always tell me I was stupid and to shut up, and that wasn't, you know, none of it was true. It was only when I started bringing facts out that she couldn't really. So then it was
with facts, right?
No, you can't. So then it was a case of, I think the church helped me the most, Hawley. It was going in around other people that were doing the same thing as I was doing, but I wasn't understanding that I was doing it at the time. And then you sort of like fit, don't you? It's like a little jigsaw puzzle. You kind of fit into place, and from there you kind of build up, and it just happens. It's not something that I can control. Well, I can to a certain degree, but it's not something I can control. It's not something I can stop. It's accepting it, and so that's what we did. We accepted it.
So Dee, how did you get into the paranormal?
You don't need to tell them because you can't hear nothing, can you? Yeah. With Dee was one of twin. We went for our first scan, and it was really, really cute. We had these two little babies, little heartbeats. We couldn't even see the baby; they were just little heartbeats. And basically, the next scan, there was only one baby there. She was about 3, about 2.5, 3, I'd say. And she used to make Dad up 2 cups, 2 of pillows, 2 blankets, 2 of absolutely everything. And unbeknown to Nicole at the time, out of respect, we'd named her baby brother or sister Gemma. And she actually told Dad that she was playing with Gemma, and that Gemma looked like her with the blonde hair and the beautiful blue eyes, and she actually physically described herself. Right, so we were like, okay. Now I didn't not disbelieve her, because at the time I was doing my thing. We just left her and let her go on with her own devices. And she started to be more, how can I put it? She doesn't really hear grown adults. She doesn't speak to spirit adults. It's mainly children. I mean, we went to the Red Lion Hotel, and this was the first time in her older years, because after a certain age, when she was younger, she kind of forgot that that's what she could do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was when we were at the Red Lion was the first time that I've ever seen Nicole have a heart attack. It was literally crazy. She hung back. We brought everybody round the side, and all of a sudden I heard, oh, can I use the F word? The F word
Yeah,
is what
let it
we
out.
heard. Yeah, we heard, fuck this. And she come bombing right the way around the corner, and she grabbed hold of her dad, right, he was doing the hunt with us, and she went, a kid just spoke to me, I can't see it.
Well, you see, in all fairness, I think anybody experiencing that would actually be like, fuck this. Do you know what I mean? Surely it's your initial reaction.
That was her words, and to that day she said, I'm not ever talking to another child, but she can't help it. Children are automatically attracted to her.
Do you think that that's because of, you see, I sort of get where you're coming from with this, because my firstborn, so my son, I always like to call him my baby, but he's not a baby anymore. When he was actually born, on a scan we could only see one child, but I was like 16 weeks by the time I had my very first scan, so it was quite late on. So when he was born, well, when I went into labour, it was a really difficult labour, and my contractions kept stopping. And then when he was finally born, at the back of the placenta was another baby. So technically, he should have been a twin. But this baby had obviously stopped developing at about the 12-week mark. So he should have been a twin. And when it comes to the paranormal, he is very much the same, isn't he, Dave? You've seen him when we've been out. He's very in tune with what's going on around him. And is very, I would say empathic would be the word for Jordan. So do you think that may be something to do with the, I mean, it could just be that it's into the family, you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I do know that wherever she goes and there are spirit children there, you can guarantee if one wants some kind of attention or to be listened to or to be heard, it'll bypass me and it'll go straight to her. So
that is seriously sweet though, really, isn't it? When you think for a child spirit, it must take a lot for them to actually want to make contact with somebody, because they must be so scared.
Yeah. She's had like we went to this house. We did a private house, and this house was right where the mortuary used to be built. And they've moved the mortuary now, but obviously the spirits are going to remain there if they were there and they were supposed to be there. And there was this one lady who went to her house, and oh my days, I got in and she said, right, she said, I've set up some trigger items already for you. I said, have you? And she was like, yeah. I said, okay, what have you set up? She said, there's a car there. She says, there's this here. And what have you? I said, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll add a little sensor here and a sensor there, and we'll do, you know, some of this. And throughout the evening that we were there, we actually caught it on video as well. We actually got the sensors going off on every single toy. And then Nicole was sitting down by her chair, which was by her kitchen, right? And this little boy gone over to Nicole and said, pick me up. And she had like a heart attack, didn't you? Because he made you jump, didn't he? She still jumps.
How do you comfort a child that you can't actually touch?
How do you comfort a child that you can't actually touch? She said she hasn't got a clue because she runs still, but and she's not telling a lie either. She does. She runs.
So how long
because
are
at
you?
the moment she's still at that stage where she's
flourishing.
So how long have you guys been investigating together then? How long have you guys been investigating together?
What, together?
Yeah.
Oh, we started up with my XD. 4th of February 2017, wasn't it? 18. She lasted about a month and a half, and then she kind of done her own thing. So that's when Dee took over. So, and yeah, so it's about 2, 3, quite more years, but I've been doing it a lot longer. So
she basically started up same time as me then, really, because so we're quite newbies to it.
Yeah. So I think when you're doing it, I think you just have to relax. You have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to be open-minded. You know, I mean, obviously you protect yourself anyway, but it's just a case of listening, hearing, and being that little bit of an understanding. You know, so it's a case of it's easily done.
So how do you feel about the children entering into the paranormal world then? Because obviously, like you've had children, you know, that have been around your mediumship, because as much as you try and keep it from them, there will be times where something's happened, and the children have been there. I'm not that I'm a medium, but you know, from experience, my children have always seen that I've been into the paranormal and that I've been out investigating whatever since a young age. So I've never hid it from them. And my son has really been into the paranormal since he was about 14, whereas my daughter won't entertain it for love nor money. So what do you feel about children coming into the paranormal field? Do you feel that there should be an age range, or do you think it's more about experience?
If they're like Nicole, for instance, Nicole was doing things at 2.5, 3, right way up until about 6, you know, then it's going to come naturally. I had mine start at 8. I didn't know what to do with mine. I had nobody to help me with mine. I had to deal with mine. If it's natural and it comes onto them naturally, then fair dues. You can't stop that. All you can do is nurture it, you know, or try and contain it a little bit for them, you know. But if that's a child that doesn't want to do it, it's not going to happen anyway. So it's a case of wouldn't force anyone to do it.
Do you think that that children should be forced to wait until they reach a certain age limit before you'll openly discuss the paranormal with them?
I don't believe in putting ideas into children's heads. I don't believe in that at all. I don't believe that in like our team, because we have a lot of youngsters on our team. They have to be 18. If they're not 18, then they're not coming in. But that's our rules. Everybody does things differently. So yeah, I mean,
See,
my 12-year-old.
I got a lot of criticism when I first started taking my son out. He was almost 15, and a lot of people were saying that I shouldn't be taking him out. Now, the way I see it was, he was 15. Since the day he was born, he's been quite empathic and being quite open to things going on around him. And I would rather.
I was saying, if he was born naturally with it, then
absolutely,
you're his mum. You know him better.
Absolutely, and the fact of, I would rather he came out with me at that age and learned how to do things properly, as opposed to going out, because we've got a woods straight across the road from our house, and there's a place in there called Witch's Circle, obviously, because there is in everyone. So the last thing I would have wanted was for him to go over there with a makeshift Ouija board, a group of friends, and start doing God knows what when he didn't know what he was doing.
The difference is, like I said, it's natural. He's naturally got it.
Absolutely.
If he hasn't, I mean, you wouldn't take one of his friends with him, would you? And say, right, you haven't got anything, and but we'll take you along just for the experience. You wouldn't do that.
No. I would now, because they're older, but then I wouldn't have done. Then it was just me and him, and it was like our bonding time. Most families go to the cinema or something. Me and my son went on a ghost hunt. It was like, okay, this is slightly strange.
We've got out of all our children, we've got one skeptic, and that's my 12-year-old. He thinks that's a load of rubbish, and then he'll tell you straight. He's very straight talking, and he'll absolute rubbish. I don't believe a word of it. I'm like, okay, leave it, okay. But the rest of them will come out.
Something will happen at some point, and it'll change his mind. My daughter won't entertain the paranormal, and it's not because she doesn't believe it. It's slightly different for her. I think she is more anxious and intimidated of the paranormal. I think she's got the other side.
It's the unknown, isn't it? It's the unknown. It's not knowing what to expect.
I am so sorry. Look, trying to do a live when you're full of cold. My tissue with bulbous oil is making a guest appearance tonight as well. I'm so sorry. What did you say, Dave? I have no idea what he said. So we are along the same wavelengths then when it comes to children. If they're at an age where they're able to understand properly and are able to go out, then as long as they're with somebody that knows what they're doing and they're sensible, because I mean there is some 17, 18-year-olds that I wouldn't take to a park, let alone out on an investigation.
Well, we have 5 children, plus we have my 2 stepchildren. My 2 stepchildren don't do the ghost hunting, but 4 out of the 5 children we do are part of my team. They're all older, really in their 20s. We're a family team more than we are anything else.
You're only 21. You can't have 20-odd-year-old yourself. You're only 21 as it is.
I wish I was.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't look old enough to have a grown-up daughter.
I've got a 28-year-old. So,
oh my God,
28 and downwards, all the way to 12. So,
Oh, that hormonal age. Oh,
Huh?
I couldn't go back to that hormonal age again for love nor money.
Oh, tell me about it. I was a horrible mother today. He got detention at school for being late, and he didn't go to his detention, so I told him he couldn't go out with his friends. So I was everything under the sun.
Ooh, oh.
I just looked at him and went, with love.
Yeah. I love you.
With love.
Honestly, children. So before COVID, you know, investigations were rife, and we could all go out and enjoy an investigation. So just before COVID, what was your most memorable investigation that you did?
Jeff's journey. Working with Ryan Griffiths. He came all the way down from where he lives down to our end of the woods, which is a good 2-3 hours drive. And we spent the night with Jeff's family, and we went round and done the different things in the different rooms, and that was absolutely amazing. We had the hearse there. We had it was really, really good, and we made quite a bit of money for the family as well, which was really a nice thing, because we do like to do a lot of charity work.
It's good to give back in all fairness.
Yeah, but then saying that, we had Penny at one of our events as well, and I love working with Penny. Penny's lovely, but they're all. I can't pick every single event. The Red Lion, Harwich, everywhere we've been, I can't pick. They're all as brilliant as each other.
Is the one location that has completely put you off that you will not go back to?
Yeah, but I can't never remember the name of it. What's the name of the church that I wouldn't go into? With one with the locks. Badley? Right. Something called Badley or Badley or something like that church. There's a gate and it has 2 locks on it. And numbers never come to me. I never, ever, ever. And the guys were like, we need to unlock the gate to get in. And I said, that's like trespassing. And they were like, you can't do it. And all of a sudden, I just reeled off 4 numbers. Right, I said, do 1 forwards and 1 backwards. And I was just like, what the hell? Right? It literally just reeled off my tongue. And they did. And when they did that, both things opened and the gate opened. And then they were like, well, we've got to go in now because it's not trespassing. And I'm like, I looked at the church and it was surrounded by this big load of like trees and bushes and stuff. And I was like, no. And then they're like, come on, don't be such a chicken. I said, I'm not being a chicken. I've got a bad feeling. I don't want to go there. And so I turned around in my car and I just got in my car and I said, lock the gates up. And that was it. We went home. But it was either Badley or something like that. It was out towards Norfolk way. But never again. I'll never go there.
So was it just a feeling or was there something?
No, it was a dread. It was a dread. It was a like, if I go inside there, this is not going to end good, you know. It was an instant. I'd never have that feeling unless there's something wrong or unless there's something going to be wrong. And yeah, it was an instant dread. I just could not do it. I could not go in there, and I made the team go all the way back home. And they were like, why did we go in? And I'm like, because I said so. End of.
Because we're just not.
Yeah.
So have you got a bucket list?
No.
So
there's only one place we love, right? And I think that will be the one place that we stick with. We will go with other teams if we're invited. But we like Harwich Fort. We know the spirits know us, and every time we go, we get a result. Whether it's a nurse showing up in a picture, or whether it's tapping on a door, which always makes me jump. Whether it's somebody in the cells or somebody over ringing a bell when everybody else is far away from that bell. You know, there's always something there, and that's something that never is the same thing twice.
See, I'm like that with Drakelow Tunnels. Drakelow Tunnels. Oh, it's one of my favourite locations. I do like Harwich, but Drakelow for me, it's exactly the same for you. It just pulls me back time and time again, and every time I go, there's something different. And for me, those locations are the ones that you shouldn't give up on. You should just keep going back and back and back, because then you're building up a case study as well out of all your investigations, which could help somewhere along the lines.
Well, we have Sue there as well. She does like past regression, and bless her heart, she dresses up for us, and she tells people what happened to her in this past life. So when we start out our events, we always have Sue there, given the past regression, and you know, letting people know, and that gives us time to go around and finish setting up properly and making sure everything's perfect for what we need to do. And then we come back and we sit down and we join her, and actually there was myself, everybody who came to the Jeff's Journey event, Brian, Matt and Craig, Russ and John from Widnesbury. We were all in this one room, and I've actually got it on camera, the bell ringing when there's nobody across the other side of the actual circle, because there's a big circle. So it's absolutely brilliant.
See, they're priceless. Those locations really, really are priceless, without a doubt. When it comes to... There's what, sorry?
Right. They've found another one, haven't they? Right beside it. Well, I say right beside it. To me, it's right beside it, but to you, that'd be down the road a bit. It's called Beacon Hill. It's not ready, as in ready for events yet, because they've got to put toilets in it and stuff like that. But we actually took a day trip down there. That must have been about June time last year. And as we went down there, we walking through the tunnels, I got a feeling of somebody hanging themselves. And I turned around, and this is totally unrelated to what the guy hanging himself. I turned around and I said, was this where the person that hung themselves worked? And all of a sudden, we didn't hear nothing, right? I didn't hear nothing, right? But I felt a blast go past me. Didn't think nothing of it, carried on, walked into another room, walked down this like tunnel thing, got home, put the EVP on, see what I'd got, and as I'd asked the person who'd hung themselves, was that where they'd worked, you had a very clear no. And then when we went through the tunnels, somebody clearly saying ring. That was really cool.
That sounds awesome.
That was a really awesome. So when they get that up and running, we'll book it obviously and have a night out there. But we'll also let everybody else online know as well, because we believe in, like, you know, not hiding things from people.
That is one thing that I do love about you guys, because you are very open to being accepting of others in the paranormal field. Like, you quite often, it's pretty much a daily basis where you do shout outs to everybody, and that is so nice. I mean, I'm not very often on Twitter, but occasionally I do see like a notification, and it's like C&D have tagged you in a post or whatever they call it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that is so sweet, because not many people do that.
Well, if you think about it, we started Love and Lights, didn't we? Or Love and Light. That was our phrase that came from us. That was Love and Light, Love and Light. And that's the way it should be, I think. I think everybody should stop arguing and stop bickering at each other and stop outdoing each other. And
it's not a competition.
You know, no, it's not. It's a case of, you know, if somebody said to me, say like you said to me, I really need your help. Right, unless I'm ill or unless, you know, it's physically going to affect my health, right, I'll help you, you know, and that's the way we are. That's the way C&D are. That's what we do. I mean, we'd come and help you on an event anytime you want to. Just call us, you know, if we're free, we'll do it.
I would offer my help to anybody, but right now I can't even help myself. So sorry, everybody.
So that's the way. No,
too busy with my tissues these days. It is so nice. I mean, there's quite a few people in the chat room, like Wayne Seedon for one. Me and Wayne have worked together several times, you know.
Yeah,
I've worked with quite a few people that are in the chat room. I can't wait to work with Jane Hunt. Everybody's saying hello to you as well, by the way, ladies. Yeah, hello. I can't wait to work with Jane and Chris Hunt. I think that'll be amazing.
She can't hear nothing, bless her.
She's just sat there like, don't mind me.
She's sitting there, right, and she's hearing me talking and rabbiting away, and she can't hear us.
And all she can see is my tissue.
Properly. So, but we can't see nothing, we can't hear nothing. We're just talking to a phone.
just waffling away. Well, you were on about putting it onto your TV, wasn't you? And I was like, don't do that. I don't actually want anybody to see what I look like right now.
A name to the face and sort of like.
So can you not see us at all?
No.
Hook us up to your telly, but just don't say I didn't warn you. Technical things going on in the background.
While we're doing that, can I just give a shout out to our co-owner Andy? Is fighting COVID at the moment, so a big shout to our team member and our medium for our team. Get well soon, mate. Well, we're all thinking about you.
Get well soon, Andy.
Hold in there. You'll be okay.
You're going to be okay. You're going to be all right.
So speaking of the mediumship then, because that brings it into with, you know, our poor Andy's obviously suffering, bless him. How has your mediumship been throughout the COVID situation? Because obviously there's a lot of anxiety in the air. Is that increasing your mediumship?
My senses, my senses and stuff. No, it's not, because I turned it off. I can turn it off. I can stop it. I don't have to do it if I don't want to, and I only do it when I open up. So I turned it off. It got to the stage where it was kind of like I wasn't having spirits. I wasn't having, you know, but the house was getting more active. And as you know, because I sent you the video, the house is active anyway. But the house was getting more active, and I don't believe that it was just our residents that were doing it. So I just turned it off. I haven't opened up not properly for a good few weeks now. So we still can't see you. We can't find you, how to get you.
I think Gemma's gone. So what, when you're saying your house is still active, what spirits have you got that's actually resident in your house?
Right. We have 2 females and a male.
Right.
We've got a male called Bob. I don't know if you saw Wednesbury's chat when we went live with them. Did you?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
No. Well, they got the clip of when I was sick last year. I had a really bad chest infection, and every time I was like laying in a certain position, I was stopping breathing. Quite a big person. I'm not a little tiny thing, so my weight was kind of not helping. And this particular night, I decided to put the thing on and film myself. Because I got so sick, my husband actually brought the bread down from upstairs into this room here. And you can actually hear the voice halfway through the night when I stop breathing. You see, I stop breathing. You can see my husband's not moving. Because he sleeps like he's dead anyway. Bless his heart. Sorry if I offend anyone. But like, you see me stop breathing, and then all of a sudden you hear "try rolling over," and that was a full sentence. You know, try rolling over. So that's Bob. I know that's Bob, because Bob's helpful. He's the one that I spoke to 3 days after we moved in via the spirit box. I woke up in the morning and I had the mirror facing the hall, and I was like laying in bed, and I looked, and as you look and you kind of sort of like see something go past you, but this wasn't a shadow. It was more peachy. It's like a peach colour. From as quick as it went by, it looked like almost a person. I got my husband to run downstairs, grab me the EVP and the spirit box, but I didn't think to pick the camera up. He brought it upstairs. I started it off. Then we're chatting away, and then all of a sudden it says Nicole. So, and it literally was Nicole. It said Nicole's name. Then a couple of minutes later, it was Andy Dad, which my husband's name's Andy, and obviously his dad as well. There's so many things. I mean, we've had the cupboard open in the kitchen. We've had Nicole come downstairs, had to come downstairs with my, at the time, 10-year-old, come downstairs with him because he'd heard rattling downstairs, and as we came into the kitchen, or as they came into the kitchen, the door opened and shut. So I put a camera in the cupboard, and I caught that the next night. But yeah, we've got so many things. I mean, we've got one female, she's residual, she does the same thing over and over. And we've got one other female, but she's, all she ever says is help, but the other female overpowers her.
Right. So they're all friendly spirits then. There's no negativity with them.
No. They were told the very third day that we moved in, and I did that EVP session. They were told then they're welcome to stay in our house. They're welcomed by us, or the family. They're welcomed by everybody, right? But they've got to behave. And if they don't want to behave, then they have to leave. It's as simple as that. And since then, we've not had any problems. I mean, the team sometimes sit here and they'll chat to Bob, because that's good exercise for their brains, you know. But the girls don't really talk. That's mainly Bob.
The room that you're sat in, that is an absolute beautiful room. I'm not going to lie. Since we you came on the camera, I was like, oh, look at that.
This is C&D's team room. This is our team room. This is where we do our meditation and like basically just relax. This is our relaxing room. The light's not always that colour. Sometimes we change it and we do it to nice light blues and greens and stuff like that, depending on how the team are feeling.
Do you find meditation
yeah,
makes a difference with your mediumship?
I can open up instantly. Nicole D, should I say, has to meditate. But so do some of the team as well. They have to meditate as well. But then we've got some of the team that don't meditate and pick up on things. So it just, each person has their own individual way of doing things.
So when it comes to doing things, when you guys are preparing, because I know you do house calls as well, so private cases, etc. So how do you prepare for a private house, for example?
Well, for instance, if we get a call from a person, we've had a house call where we actually used the SLS and got some really, really, really good results. But basically what we do before the house call, we'll talk to the person, we'll ask them what they think's going on in their house. We'll arrange with them a time and a date, and then we'll go around at that time and the date. We always ask them to not have any pets there. We always ask them to not have any children there, simply because if there is something there and that's not nice, or there's something there and it's not, we don't want to frighten anyone, you know. So it's all done professionally. It's not done shoddy. It's all done with love and light. So then when we get there, first thing we do is go for what they have told us. Yeah. So say like for the last, I have got somebody that won't mind me actually mentioning it, because she said that she's going to let me do a little episode on it. So we got to this lady's house and she told me that she had somebody in her bedroom, she had somebody in her bathroom, and she was worried that they were in the room where her children were. And I was like, okay. So that thought, we'll take the SLS, we'll take the REM pods, we'll take everything else. I told her not to have the children or any pets in the house at the time. We got there, we went straight to the bedroom, and sure enough, she had two spirits in the bedroom. She had one hanging from the curtain pole, and she had one standing right beside a mini Christmas tree. Two older people they were, male and female. They'd been there for quite a while. But yeah, so anyway, the boyfriend was telling me that when he goes into the shower, he feels like somebody's in the shower with him. So we just
Sounds
went with
like
SLS.
my house. Because I've got an old woman that stands in my shower. She's constantly in there, because the medium that's in my team, he's told me that. And she gives him a load of grief when he goes to the toilet. He don't like going to my bathroom.
Yeah, well, the boyfriend, he'd actually said that he felt somebody touch him. So we went into the bathroom, and I thought SLS again, you know, avoid straight lines, because you know what straight lines are like. They can send you with these things like this everywhere, you know. So you've got to do it. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly. So I took the shower door and moved it when we're going through, and sure enough, there was somebody right on the opposite side. So it was nowhere near the shower door, standing right by the shower, right? At the same time, I sent the second SLS back to the bedroom, right? Because I wanted to know whether or not they're following us, or if we're actually seeing the two in one, and then the three spirits all together. So we sends the other one back, and there's only one spirit. So one spirit's intelligent enough to follow us, and the other one was standing there, right? So okay, we can sort this. So I said, right, can I go into the other rooms, and so I went into the child's room, and the spirit was sitting on the ladder. She had bunk beds, and the spirit was literally sitting on the ladder, going up and down, up and down, up and down, this whole ladder. And I said, right, I said, I know it sounds crazy, but go back with number 2, back into the first bedroom, right? I said, somebody stay into the bathroom with the 2 SLS, right? At this point, we didn't have an SLS in this room. So I put a sensor down, and that was going off. But that was going off and then going on, then going off and then going on. But it matched the up and down the stairs. The person in the bedroom was still there. The person in the bathroom was still there. So this had to have been a different spirit. We couldn't work out who this spirit was. I wasn't speaking. I couldn't feel anything there, and we went to later on debunk it, simply because even though the thing was going off, the REM pod was going off and on and off and on, right? We're thinking maybe that was a temperature thing rather than anything else, because when I actually looked at the footage very, very, very closely, there was not, it was not going up and down the ladder, if that makes sense. Well, it makes sense to me because I saw it. But yeah, I went on to debunk that. So she's got 2 spirits, and one of them's an intelligent one, and one of them just doing his normal thing. And I think personally myself, when I was round there, that one of them passed away before the other, and one of them missed them so much that when they passed away, they went back. But that one stuck, so I stuck with it. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm going to be doing a little episode on that one.
Yeah. So you're on about your SLS and your MPOS. What other gadgets do you like using when you're on an investigation?
I personally like to use. I use myself a lot. D, when there's children. Dee stepped back mainly at the moment because she prefers the PI side of things rather than the feeling. But if I ask her, she will feel for a child, or you know. So, but my equipment I like the EVP. I get some great results with the EVP. I don't bother with the EMF. I take the REM pod. I love the REM pod because that gives me instant results, and I can communicate with them instant results. Other than that, the camera is the most important to me, because my camera is so sensitive. It picks up voices as well as the actual thing, and it's just a normal police camera. So, but it's so sensitive, it actually picks up if somebody speaks into it. Like the spirit, it picks it up. So
that's interesting. That it's just a police camera. It's not a specially designed ghost hunting camera. Do you know what I mean?
No.
That's really interesting.
We have 2. I'll show them to you so everybody can see them, and then you can go and get one and you can see that that's the truth. This is Bob. This is Bob 1. We call him Bob 1 after Bob the Spirit. Yeah. It's basically just a normal little police camera, the standard Bob standard one. Then we have Bob 2. He's a little bit more grown up, or teen Bob as you look, we've called him. And this is the one that if we turn it on, this is one we've caught voices on that we've not been able to hear, but this has. So, and you can get this on eBay, Amazon. So, but it's not the newest one out. It's the one before that, because we bought the newest one out and that's rubbish. So you need to go for
Is
the
it?
middle one, middle of the range. Yeah, you need to go for the middle of the range. So, and that one there is absolutely the best. So,
Dave's
that's
probably on
like
Amazon now.
advertising.
I bet he's on Amazon. He's look at him. He's concentrating.
No,
He's definitely on Amazon.
I've already got one. Mine's on the table. Hang on. I'll show you what mine is.
I can't see it, can I?
That's the one I'm using.
Dave,
That's the one
are you taking the mic?
That's the one I'm using at the moment. No, but you can watch the video back later and you'll see.
Oh.
Don't watch the video back. I look shocking. Nobody should have to watch this tonight. Just listen. Don't watch.
Yeah, watch it back. You see, Jen.
No, stop it.
Yeah,
that's what she looks like when she's had too many gins.
Yeah, I don't see the point in buying. I don't see the point in buying a huge camera when that will do the job every single time. So, but yeah.
So what is coming up for you guys? What are you guys got coming up in the near future? I mean, now we're starting to. Well, some places are starting to get back out there again, and so we're back on lockdown. What have we got coming up?
I think we're all going to go back on lockdown. This is not mediumship. This is what I think.
I agree.
I think we're all going to go back down on lockdown simply because of the way that that's going. But when we are back out there, we are going to do a Harwich Fort. We are, and we're going to do an overnight Harwich Fort. So we are going to be sleeping there.
How do we sign up for this?
Maybe.
Yeah, it's the invitations going out.
You can. I'll do it once COVID's over. I'll book it then. I'm not going to do nothing while it's so uncertain.
It's hard, really, at the moment.
We don't go. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, it's hard at the moment because you want to get out there and you want to book, locations, and then this sort of like turns up again, and they're going on about going back down to lockdown. I know the Northwest might be going back down to lockdown where I am. So it's what do you do? Do you write 2020 off and wait till next year?
Well, you have to think as well. Everybody that booked this year has been moved over to next year or cancelled and given their money back. So you don't even know if you can get in next year yet. So it's just a case of just waiting until everything's calmed down, and I mean, if you're as lucky as what we are, you don't even have to leave your house to go on a ghost hunt, But some people are not. You're just going to have to just bide your time, and because it's not worth catching COVID and what have you, and getting yourself into hot water. Are you all right now? Do you drink?
I think Jem's already got it. Not the drink. So when we feel us safe, when we feel us safe for our customers and our people that are coming, then we'll book another one. I think Adam Oakley said he was coming along to one of our ones when we book one, so that will be good.
Definitely, I would definitely come along to one because although we've spoken on Twitter and stuff, we've never actually met, so it'd be really good to meet you guys, to be fair.
Yeah, you'd love it. You'll absolutely love it, and especially if that's an overnighter as well, because you get to sleep in the room that's haunted. So, and that is really cool. Some people can sleep in themselves, so it's basically a case of take your pick of where you want to sleep. So, but I am really looking forward, because there was a last time we went, when we went with Ryan and Jeff's journey, we had a door, and it was happened right? And it was physically a tap light. Yeah. And then when we went round the other side, there was no tapping. But when we did notice, the one thing we did notice is the handle on that side was this side, and the handle on the other side was on that side. So there must have been a space in between the door. So, and that was something really, really cool. I'd like to spend some time asking that spirit to tap for us some more, you know.
Absolutely.
It's just something that's been on my mind, and I've got to do it.
Again, it goes back to having that one location that pulls us in every time. You know, it's not something.
I will do other locations. I mean, if you guys go somewhere and you want me to come or us to come, then you know we're quite open to that.
Yeah, we always like working with other teams.
And see, I don't class it as working with other teams. I class it as working with other people, because the team bit's irrelevant. We all learn off each other, and we all find different
Everybody
ways.
does things in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is really nice, isn't it? I mean, to be fair, it'd just be nice to actually be out with people at the moment, but to actually get back to investigations with other people, that would be amazing.
That will happen. It will happen. It's just going to take some time. They've got to sort everything out, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I think the hardest part at the moment is working. There's no jobs. There's, it's a nightmare.
It's just one thing after the other at the minute, isn't it? We'll get there though. And on that note, ladies,
we've started up our own.
Go on, you've started your own.
Yeah. Oh, do you need to go? Oh, we've started up our own little business online.
Doing? What's that doing?
So it's Love Sites, and you can find it. Right, it does a variety of things: room sprays, pet sprays, body mist, carpet freshener, car fresheners. What else do we do? Wax melts. Yes, I forgot about them.
I love wax melts.
We also do memorial resin.
Ooh.
So, which we're in the middle of doing for a couple of people. These are just prototypes. I wouldn't never put anybody's online. These are the ones that I prototyped. So with the rings and stuff in it.
That is gorgeous.
So, yeah, memorial resin. We do. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Let's go and check us out. Reg Crump, not the paranormal Reg Crump, but the other Reg Crump with the little flowers and the box of treats and what have you on his profile.
Is that on Facebook?
Go and check. Yeah. Go and check him out. And we do send it out. We do pack it really well so nothing gets broken. And we do some of the markets as well sometimes. So, but we don't go ourselves. We set other people to do it for us.
Yeah.
We just tell them, no, what we do is get them to take orders, and then we do the orders and send them out. So, no, we're not silly. Can't stand out there on your own. So,
no, definitely.
But not in this. Not in this. So, but yeah, have we got to go? Did we chat for a whole hour already?
Yeah. It always goes quick.
And if it weren't for the fact that I just want to, if it weren't for the fact that I just want to crawl into my bed, we'd continue going. But I really do just want to go to bed. I am so sorry for being so pants tonight.
Pants, you've been funny. You made me laugh.
I tell you, if you watch this back, you'll be laughing.
She can't hear us sing.
Oh, it's a shame. We'll have to get you back on. We'll have to get you back on again.
She sort of thing. She's just sat there and she just had this little resting bitch face on. It's just like this.
We'll have to get you back on again. So you can both hear us.
She doesn't. Yeah, definitely. So,
and when I'm not poorly as well, at least I've got a week to recover now.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, you got a week to the next show.
A week before anybody has to
Yeah.
see me looking so rough again.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, ladies, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute honour to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been
both.
a pleasure.
It's been an absolute honour to talk to you. Thank you for joining in tonight. Thumbs up.
Well, I'm sure I will speak to you very, very soon. And for everybody joining us tonight in the chat room, thank you as always for joining us. Thank you very much. And we will see you again next week.
Yeah, next week's show, guys. Tune in. It's Bill and Chris Reap. So from America, we're on a later at 9 o'clock. So tune in next Wednesday, not Tuesday, next Wednesday. And yeah, join us.
And get well soon, Andy. We love you.
Yeah, get well soon, mate.
Get well, Andy.
Bye.
Bye.